to look nicer. I heard some things about aesthetics, but that if we mess this up and just do this as a road and not think about what's around it and the land use, that this is kind of our one chance to do it right. I heard about making it kind of a showcase of alternative transportation, of what's possible in the city. And I heard a number of folks that talk about that they don't want to widen, that it's scary to cross. I heard that from a pedestrian about trying to get across the road, that it's scary now, and that if it gets wider, even scarier.
Thank you all, guys. Thank you guys all for sticking around, and thanks for talking to me and us task force members. We really appreciate the input. This is going to help us do our job better, and that's what we want to do. That's why we're part of the task force in the first place. One thing I heard that was pretty resounding. What was that?
Would you tell your name as you...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Rocco DeGrazia. I own the pizza place. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Is that better? Okay. Okay. What I was told by several business owners that approached me was that if we do this halfway and widen the road to the point where it encroaches on the footprint of the existing businesses, it may be as much a death knell for the businesses on the north side as just knocking us down in the first place. So we do need to take that into account. Once again, I'd like to tell you guys, if you need to talk to me or any task force member, please try to reach out to us. We're here to help you and to convey your thoughts and opinions to the powers that be that are doing this project. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Diane Robles. I represent business interests on the south side of Broadway. I work at Child and Family Resources right at Broadway Way and Treat. I'm going to ditto everything they said because that's also what I heard, but I met a lot of good business owners, Dave from Jimmy's, Dale from the print shop. I met some neighbors, Margaret and Mary Ellis, that live directly behind our building. So that was a lot great to meet those people, but the common theme that I was hearing, and I heard it from a number of people, which I found very interesting. When we had our first meeting at Randolph, people did not feel like they were heard. They felt like they were told, be quiet and let us present this project as is, and this is the way. What I heard tonight was they were very much encouraged by meeting each one of us, and we are very sincere about who we're representing, and it doesn't mean that if I just represent the business interests of the South Side that you can't come and contact me if you can't contact another person on this task force. I talk to people, North Side businesses, neighbors, so we're all here representing all of you, and I am really hoping that you can see that it's very important to each one of us as task force members to hear you, hear your fears, and hear your hopes. Thank you. Thank you for staying.
Okay, well, again, I'm Bob Bellman, and again, as Southside business interest, but I had an interesting conversation with one business owner who pointed out that here we are, we've been going through this for 25 years, and what's going on, what's gonna happen? Well, the uncertainty that has been around for this long a period of time is coming to an end. If you think that 25 years was a long time, you're right, but 3 more years in comparison isn't a very long time. So we need to focus on what we can do now and make our plans and make our recommendations and get it done. Thank you.
I am Bruce Fairchild, Bruce's Lock Shop. I represent the Northside businesses along with Rocco. I thank everybody for coming, and in talking with people, the questions that were raised were, do we actually need 8 lanes? Most of the people would like a dedicated right lane for turnoffs. They would like to see the image and to beautify this last stretch, because a lot of people are real unhappy with the way it looks. There's a big mishmash of a lot of buildings. So, and the one thing they want to make sure of is that the city of Tucson, if they'll, when they do this, let's do it right, you know, and if you're going to do this, encompass a lot of things that's going to appeal to a lot of different people. So, again, if there's any comments or anything, you're more than welcome to contact any of us, and we'll be more than happy to present them for you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Scott, and I represent the pedestrian and bicycle interests for this project. I think Diane did a really great job of saying what I think we all think, which is no matter what my interests are, you can tell me whatever you want to say. That's what we're here for, and we're hearing a lot of different perspectives, and I appreciate you all offering those up to us. Tonight, on top of what some of the people have said already, reinforce the idea that there's a real sense that 150-foot right-of-way is too wide, and previous widening earlier on Broadway had really destroyed some of the fabric. There's a real interest in maintaining the fabric of the neighborhoods and maintaining a reasonable width and speed along Broadway, providing transit, and maybe even more important than just the transit, connecting the modes so that people have options when they travel, and it's not just personal vehicle dominated roadway. On top of that, very interesting thoughts and concerns about doing thorough economic analyses, maybe looking at different scenarios, considering how demographic shifts and mode percent shifts, in other words, how many people are using transit or bicycles as opposed to their own vehicles, are changing, and especially with changing gas prices and whatnot, how that might change in the future. Want to see that really considered strongly in how we look at the design of Broadway. And lastly, I think from my perspective, one of the most important comments I heard was making this a quality change, making the improvements be the best they can be so that they can last for 30, 50 years, and we're not coming back and asking this question again in 10 years or so.
My name is John Howe, and I really valued and appreciated all the great conversations I had with people, and a lot of them centered around very serious concerns about the width of the road, and also a lot of them centered around making it a destination and enhancing a lot of the functions the road already provides and a lot of the businesses and what have you. And I heard a lot of concerns about and stories about accessibility and ideas about that. So I really appreciate it, and I hope that this is just the beginning of the conversation related to accessibility, especially for me. So please feel free to keep sending me ideas and concerns and stories about accessibility concerns that you have or accessibility experiences you have, because it'll be important to consider those as we go forward. So thank you very much.
Again, Farhad Mughimi representing CTAC. I want to kind of echo everybody else's comments. I think the theme was very common as far as the concerns people have, and the main issue, I think, in my mind, at least with the folks that talked to me, most of them were business representatives, was that they really want to know. They want to know sooner than later. And I think that was one of the comments that early on, even the task force at one point, we had conversations about at what point are we able to share some detailed information with the public so they can have that sense of understanding of what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. So obviously we hope that we can do that sooner than later. And again, some of the businesses that I talk to, purely from a business perspective, they need to make some decisions and they need to know. So they wanted to kind of encourage us as a community to get to a decision sooner than later.
Thank you. Thanks again for coming, everybody. I did not make it to the bar. I ran into some friends, old friends, and some business associates. And I would like to echo Diane and Farhad. They made some excellent comments. And what I heard was everything from don't do anything to a 12-lane highway, which I'm sure was sarcastic. I heard that indecision and procrastination has brought blight to the north side. Pull the plug, do what you're going to do, which is what has been said. What I also heard was build this to accommodate future needs, and I think it's important that we think about generations to come. And make it a destination, not a thoroughfare, so that it's very pedestrian friendly. I heard shaded trees, shaded sidewalks, et cetera, and I think we have to remember that widening Broadway is not just for cars. I think it's for other modes of transportation, which would provide a safer corridor. Thank you.
Wow. A lot to think about. And I think it is just telling about the conversations that we have to come. And we have, so tonight is that second public meeting. We have our next task force meeting occurring on March 21st from 5:30 to 8:30. You're welcome to attend and stay involved in the conversation and stay a party with us. I just want to emphasize that the website, we do try to keep that pretty updated, tucsonaz.gov/Broadway. The email, broadway@tucsonaz.gov, allows your comments to come in through our public input process and does get back to the task force. And of course, any information you'd like, you can achieve also by calling our info line, 622-0815. I really have to put a lot of thanks out to the project team members. Those are the folks that were standing around the stations as well, and it took a lot of hands to make this happen tonight. And thank you, project team members. Thank you, task force members. And thank you, public, for coming and talking with us. My voice is about ready to go. I hope that you'll please help with more water and cookies, and please stay involved. We value your involvement. Thank you. Good night.